What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, you know, I've taken a little step into a new frontier. I decided to try out the power washing simulator. We've been talking about it for so long now. I thought, I'm so curious. I have to know. And well, it's interesting. I mean, it's pretty much exactly what you think it is.
Yeah. Okay. So our good buddy Kyle was playing it, and then you were like, "Okay, I gotta give this a shot." And I went, "Really? Is this what we're getting into now? Or are these things?" Okay.
It gave me the opportunity to clean up my dirt bike once more.
That's funny. Oh man. Yo, I missed one video this morning. I can't believe I did that. Huh. Well, dude, guess what? People can join us live over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG Reviews. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, coming up on today's show, Sony is reportedly interested in purchasing Square Enix Japan. We've heard rumblings about that already. Could Call of Duty Warzone see a rebranded approach? And Sony warns people about God of War Ragnarok. We'll get into that one too, because yeah, that kind of, well, there's good reason. Yeah, we'll get there.
Suspense.
Dude, Sony reportedly interested in Square Enix Japan, but not their Western studios. This comes from Rebecca over at PlayStation Lifestyle. Sony is reportedly to be interested, like really interested, in acquiring Square Enix Japan, at least according to Eidos Montreal founder Stefan. On the other hand, they're not interested in the publisher's Western studios, which may be the reason why Square Enix sold off Eidos Montreal, Crystal Dynamics, and Square Enix Montreal to Embracer Group. Man, is this where we're going, Scott? Rumors have been spreading for a while that Sony was interested in acquiring Square Enix. When discussing these rumors with GamesIndustry.biz, Stefan said that he'd heard rumors that Sony said they're really interested in Square Enix Tokyo, but not the rest. He also believes that this is the reason why Eidos Montreal, Crystal Dynamics, and Square Enix Montreal were sold off at what everybody believes to be an extremely cheap price. So I think Square Enix is put it like a garage sale. Dude, that's unfortunate. Scott, what is your thoughts? Sony, obviously a big partner of Square Enix, especially heavily in the world of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense because I don't know if the right term would be second party, but they're so close to Sony already.
Yeah,
that it's not terribly surprising that they're interested. But why not the American brands, the Western studios? Square is full of many different companies. Clearly, Eidos was a huge one. Crystal Dynamics is huge in my head, but just not from an Eastern perspective.
Is it just not profitable enough to pull in? Like, we've seen the struggles of obviously Avengers not doing so well at all, but yet the store keeps populating every day. Like yesterday was a new drop for more outfits. I'm like, it sucks.
That one reminds me of Halo.
What reminds me of is Anthem, and the fact that it's still alive is really surprising. I know that one hurts too, doesn't it? That one stings, man. Oh, it stings.
You don't play the same 40 minutes over and over and over.
But it gets repetitive though. Like, you get in that same vein, right? I was this close to downloading it again yesterday just to see if it's worth jumping back in. If anybody's playing Marvel's Avengers right now, hit me up. I want to know. Hit me up over at the Artistic Gamer 28 or on Twitter for ITG with the official ITG. You're definitely curious to see where that kind of lands, but why not pull in everybody else? Sony's such a heavy based single player content experience platform. Why wouldn't they pull in people like Eidos and other Square Enix Montreal, where you can get Tomb Raider, you can get Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, they're already so heavily invested with Marvel itself as well. Like, why not be able to pull in some of these other IPs that I think really do well? Like, Tomb Raider is not a small name or brand. Could Sony blow that up even more if they were to pull them in too? Like, it's nuts.
I'm wondering, do you think this is going to be more of like a console lock? They're trying to exclusively lock Final Fantasy behind.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well that would make a lot of sense. That's what you spend the money for in these kind of scenarios.
Yeah, we've seen Final Fantasy really take heavily over on the world of PlayStation. So why not bring in Square's biggest IP, I would say, right? Easily, and hold Final Fantasy to yourself and not give it to anybody like Microsoft, who is going to own Call of Duty, where you can probably only get certain aspects of Call of Duty over on the Xbox platform. They say they're going to leave it open to everybody, but dude, you wait. Like, it's only a matter of time before they lock that down too, right?
Oh, and Sony purchased Bungie, so they have that kind of behind as a counter to the Call of Duty situation. But
Sure.
it makes me wonder, is everybody just going to divide left and right until everything's locked behind exclusives?
Yeah,
I guess the time for that fear would have been last year when Xbox was buying up studios, but
sure. Well, and they said, like, Phil Spencer and the team over there at Xbox said that they're not looking to lock anybody down, and I believe them. Like, look at Minecraft. Minecraft is absolutely everywhere. They are not locking that down. But look at the money they're generating from it too, right? So why would you lock in Call of Duty? It makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, when you bought Bethesda and you can only get Starfield now on one platform, it kind of makes you a little skeptical and nervous for what the future holds, for when all of a sudden these studios keep getting purchased and bought up. Where do the IPs land, right? If you're a multi-platform console player, then you're okay. You have the ability to play on, both platforms. But if you are only an Xbox or a PlayStation fan, now you're kind of locked in, right? You're not going to be able to get some of the experiences maybe that you've been used to in the past.
Oh, that's what's happened to me, and now I'm lucky when Sony puts some things onto PC now. That's where I get to enjoy it. So I like that maneuver.
Absolutely.
Even if they do get locked behind exclusivity, we'll bring it to the PC and let that, the kind of Wild West take over.
Yeah, it is interesting to see Sony branch out so heavily now into the side of PC. And what else will they bring? Do you think we'll see any PlayStation Studio titles launch day and date on PC, just like Microsoft's doing with Game Pass?
I would like to see that, but I'm very doubtful.
Yeah,
I can't really think of one that would be an easy choice.
God of War, dude. Honestly,
God of War would be the biggest one,
right?
But...
Wouldn't that be a huge move by PlayStation to go, okay, we know you're dying for it. Here it is on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, but it's also on PC on day one. Fans explode.
Here you go,
you know what I mean?
Phil Spencer.
Dude, that's like a mic drop and just kind of walk. That's a big move if PlayStation would do that. But they said it's just not in their model right now, which is unfortunate. And honestly, if they were able to do that Game Pass service, we've seen the upgrade of PlayStation Plus, kind of where that's gone. But now, okay, so let's back it up. Let's back it up. If they purchase Square Enix, right, and all of a sudden they have the Final Fantasy brand, they got to put it on PC. Like, that's going to be there. But if they bring out the next Final Fantasy game, they put it day one in their PlayStation Plus new service. They drop it on PlayStation 5, would probably be the next moving forward. And then PC, dude, how do you answer Call of Duty? That's how you do it.
Well, it'd be a very strong position to have on the whole RPG genre if it is indeed Final Fantasy like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a big move. We'll see what PlayStation does in the future, because it's.
I'm waiting for Nintendo to come and just smash the ice, buy up somebody, but who? That becomes the next question.
Well, it's not like they don't have the money and capabilities of doing so, right? Like, you think they'd be able to sweep in and grab somebody. Can you imagine if they bought Square? You can only get Final Fantasy on the Nintendo platforms.
They'd have to upgrade that Switch real fast.
They just drop it on PC because it can't run on the Switch. Like, what else would they do? It's interesting to see. Nintendo is just a unique company who kind of does their own thing, where PlayStation and Xbox are definitely in the realm of competition, right? They're back and forth with each other. One buys one studio, and then another one announces they bought a studio, and it goes back and forth. Now, it's not just granted, hey, next week we're purchasing that studio. That's not how those deals work. They've obviously been in the works for a very long time. But at the same time, man, the battle's going back and forth. Dude, competition is good, right? It keeps everybody on their toes and keeps elevating the game. So it's awesome to see. Whether or not they can purchase Square Enix, do you want to see Square Enix purchase, or should we just... The fact that they have lost all like their Western development side and is really kind of now holding on to Babylon's Fall, which is a weird one. It's not doing all that well, to be honest. And then Final Fantasy, like what else do they have? Some of those other JRPGs that will hold well to the PlayStation fans, because PlayStation has a lot of JRPG fans, so they can really pull them in, right? Like, or do you want to see them on their own, Scott, or you want to get them purchased up by PlayStation?
Well, in the situation now, being bought up by PlayStation isn't necessarily a negative thing, because you're right. The idea of the Western studios kind of separating, that covers more of my interest.
Mine too.
But it leaves Final Fantasy out. But Final Fantasy is just a juggernaut, so it is a big deal for them to purchase that and lock it behind exclusive, if they were. But otherwise, it doesn't. It's not really that big of a deal to me. Crystal Dynamics and Eidos is kind of more my interest.
Mine too. Definitely more my play style, right? Like, I'm not a JRPG fan. Who I'd love to talk to about this is Brad, Northern Nerdcast, is a massive fan in that realm of space and huge into Final Fantasy. He'd be a great guy to talk to kind of get his stance on whether or not this would be a good idea. But either way, those are our takes. Yeah, I take it with a grain of salt. We're not big JRPG fans. However, we do know what the meaning of Final Fantasy stands for. So there's a lot to kind of take in with that, right? And where that lands could have a lot of pull for PlayStation, I think, in the end. But Scott, who is pulling things around here is Call of Duty Warzone leak suggests game may be rebranded. It's from Cade over comicbook.com. A new Call of Duty Warzone leak suggests the mega popular Battle Royale game could get rebranded later this year. Call of Duty Warzone launched in 2020, Scott, 2 years ago, right after the start of COVID-19 pandemic that resulted in pretty much the entire world being locked inside. Very true. It came at a time when people were looking for things to play, and Call of Duty Warzone was free, fun, and part of an incredibly recognizable brand. Using the gameplay of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Infinity Ward, and Raven Software, good shout out to Jamie over there, good friend of ours at the show, were able to make one of the most tactical yet accessible Battle Royale games that players had seen up until this point. It was a roaring success, which meant Activision wanted to milk it for all it's worth, which caused some problems. Imagine that, Scott.
Well, just reminding me that it came out in 2020. I thought it came out long before that, but my memory's all messed up on that situation.
It's surprising. Honestly, I didn't realize it was 2 years ago. I was on the other side of that thinking, there's like maybe like a year and a half ago. But when you think about it, no, 2 years ago, I was like, whew, man, time flies. Like, yeah, it's so fast. Later this year, though, Activision will release a sequel to Call of Duty Warzone. Not much is known already about the sequel, besides the fact that players won't be able to carry over their inventories to the sequel, meaning everyone starts from ground zero. Scott, is that a bad thing, though?
No, I don't think so. I think that's a great thing, because although you want to reward people that have been playing the entire time, it's a whole new game. And that's kind of the point. If I go into Halo 7 with my Halo 6 stats, that doesn't make sense to me.
Does it feel stale then in that case, you think?
Oh, being everybody put back into one starting point? No, I think that's pretty fair, because we're all hopefully jumping through new things altogether.
Exactly. But if you were to keep your old stuff, like your old inventories, would it feel just stale? You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, I'm not. Then it's just more of a map switch. Which could
Fortnite.
Just happen. Yeah, that could just happen in Warzone as it exists now.
Yeah.
I believe they have changed the map many times.
Yeah, the original game will remain playable and supported. A new leak from Data Miner Reality suggests that Call of Duty Warzone will be renamed when the jump to the sequel happens. The leak suggests the game will now be called Call of Duty Warzone Legacy, but it's unclear when this will be put into effect, if it does happen. Of course, this is just a leak, so, take it with a grain of salt. Whatever the case may be, we can count on a new iteration of Call of Duty Warzone later this year. The data miner also discovered that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's campaign may be releasing early as part of some kind of early access offering. Scott, you and I, dude, the Call of Duty campaign guys over here at ITG will definitely be on board for that and covering that. What is up, Kyle? Speaking of the devil, our good friend is here with us. What you got to say? What about the in-game items I bought? Too bad. That's what I say.
No, just wait for the next year. It'll be NFTs, and then you can bring it to.
There you go. Carry it over
to another game. I'm still not sure I understand that. Oh, I know.
that's
Was
fair.
that Troy Baker? We could be, what if you bring Troy Baker into a new game?
Dude, Troy Baker is awesome. I'd love to have Troy around. We need to get him on the show. That's what we need. But Scott, next year, actually, I'd say this fall, new Call of Duty, Warzone, Modern Warfare 2, and a new Warzone Legacy. Thoughts on those?
Oh, I'll be checking out the new Modern Warfare. Absolutely. I played so much Modern Warfare 1 with a couple of friends of mine, so I'm itching to get back into a battle royale space. And I think that's going to be the hit. I'm not sure if Legacy is really going to be the title or if that's just something they're using internally.
Yeah, like a code name, right?
Yeah, that's how you'd explain the two, unless they just say Warzone 1, Warzone 2. But the proper way of saying that would be Warzone Legacy.
That
fair. Makes sense.
It does. We'll see if the name changes, but I'm really kind of more excited for the single player campaign. It's definitely more my pace, more my style. We'll leave Corey and Nate on the world of multiplayer and yourself to check that out. For me, I'm just looking for some single player content. Dude, I love the Black Ops series. I think it's a fantastic series. So Modern Warfare is definitely one of the highlights as well. But there's been a couple stumbles, but that's what happens when you get new iterations each year.
I think Black Ops 4 was the one that began the idea of Battle Zone or Warzone. Yeah. I think they called it something different though. I'm trying to remember what that was, but I looked at that and ignorantly thought, oh, that's silly. That'll never take off. I don't like this. Oh boy, was I wrong. Sometimes you're just wrong.
Sometimes, at least we can admit it. Scott, let's get going into what's happening with Star Wars. I don't think this is cool at all. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake has reportedly been delayed indefinitely. Oh, this comes from Bobby over Console Creatures. The Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake has been delayed indefinitely, sources tell Bloomberg. Originally revealed back in September, the Aspire Media-led production has hit several roadblocks and is now facing trouble behind the scenes. Aspire has worked on several Star Wars-related ports over the years, most recently bringing the original Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords, to the Switch. Most recently, the Embracer Group-owned studio created a demo for Knights of the Old Republic to show key features at Lucasfilm and Sony Group. Bloomberg says the developers were excited about the project and felt it was on track. The week after presenting the demo, Aspire fired design director Brad Prince and the art director Jason Miner. A source familiar with the project says the vertical slice wasn't where it needed to be and that there was a disproportionate amount of time and money invested in the project and project's current course being unstable. Unsustainable. Aspire has told staff that the goal was to launch Knights of the Old Republic by the end of 2022. Dude, I kind of wondered about that. Now, though, it seems more realistic to see it in 2025. Not cool, Scott.
That's a big delay, but it sounds like there is almost a whole reshuffling on the project.
Yeah.
But within the space of a week, everybody's very confident, and then it just crumbles out from under. That's awful. I've seen a lot of people talking about this on Twitter, saying, a lot of polls. Do you think it's ever going to come out?
Oh, well, it's not unlike for a lot of projects to get canceled. Ubisoft just canceled 4 projects as of recently, of which we've known some were in development for years, right? At least this one's early. So, or at least relatively early, but it is unfortunate because I know a lot of people, even when I saw this, I was like, yo, I never played this. I'm holding out for the remake. Let's go. And yeah, the future now is definitely up in the air where it stands. You wonder, so vertical slice, for those who don't know, is just like a cinematic explanation and showcase piece, right? And then from there, it's okay, now that we've got the funding, let's go to work. And expectations, I think, were set maybe a little too high and not foreseeable in the near future. Now they're gonna possibly bump it for 3 years. Like, dude, that's a whole reshuffle. What did we just recently see, Scott, that got bumped as well? Like, there's been a couple titles as of late. One was hold up. Oh, dude, it's like I can it's there, it's almost there, but they're talking about going from 2024 to now possibly 2025. I can't remember what game that was. We just talked about it last week, but there's a lot of projects that are like that, right? They set the bar high, but dude, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is a prime example. We talk about it all the time on the show. Where's that project? And nobody knows. Apparently it's still in development. Skull and Bones is coming out the day before God of War Ragnarok. Like, man, oh man, that one's been delayed after delay after delay. It did make it, But from what we hear, things aren't looking too good over there either. And now when you get into Star Wars, dude, that's an IP that is a beloved IP that so many people follow, right down to like the nitty gritty details of it all. So you do not want to mess that up.
Yeah. Oh, it's especially for the sake of Star Wars. Star Wars has such a rough last few years. Please put it together well.
Yeah.
Fallen Order is the only one I left to.
Dude, Fallen Order is sick. I can't wait for the second one. So definitely pretty hyped for that. What I'm also hyped for, and PlayStation fans should be too, is the new PlayStation report has a warning about God of War Ragnarok. Oh, this goes from Tyler Fisher over comicbook.com. A new PlayStation.
This makes me nervous.
Well, and notably so, because we'll get into the details of why people are getting warned now for God of War Ragnarok. A new PlayStation report has a warning for God of War Ragnarok fans for God of War fans looking forward to God of War Ragnarok and its release this November on PlayStation 4 and PS5. In short, fans of Kratos may soon want to avoid social media. Lately, PlayStation has had a problem with leaks. The Last of Us Part 2 leak in a major way back in 2020. They're basically, Scott is just saying, hey, heads up, people over here still leak stuff. And if you don't want anything spoiled, be careful of social media because
don't search the hashtags.
Exactly. I actually, at this point, block those hashtags. Block anything God of War related, God of War Ragnarok related. And that way you can try and at least stay somewhat clean and clear of it and go in with a full excitement and not have anything spoiled because dude, The Last of Us Part 2 has a major spoil point in that. It was devastating.
Oh, and there must have been a million people very angry about that one too. You don't want to do that to yourself. So it is nice that they're kind of pointing it out. Hey, just a reminder, that game is the most hyped game on the planet coming out.
Exactly.
There
right now
will be leaks.
Yeah, everybody's looking forward to this, and you want to go in with a fresh mind and just be there for all those hype moments, and then be able to talk about them. Please, when you do reach them, do not spoil them for others, and just vice versa, right? So just kind of keep in mind that spoilers are about to probably be dropped anytime. November, really, technically, Scott, isn't that far away, so we could expect to see something. Unfortunately, just due to the nature of what we do, man, I really hope I can stay clean from this. I really
do. You might have to block Jeff Grubb for a little while, but then again, that's a massive source. You can't do that.
Yeah, exactly, right? There's just certain aspects of it. But when you get drops of news and things like that, and then spoilers, I hate spoilers. I can't do it. Don't do that to people and let them. There's nothing like, dude, it's like reliving your favorite game all over again for the first time. Like that excitement of all those those plot twists and turns, and then just elevate everything, dude. Even the trailer now at this point, I'm like, I'm done. I've seen this trailer 1,000 times. I don't want to see anything else now until the game drops, because it looks just stunning and the world is gonna be incredible. We've seen returning characters. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
We don't want to overanalyze what we have seen in there, but I just had the thought, do you think Kratos is going to grow hair before the end of it?
No, just his beard grows longer and longer over the course of the game. Scott, we do have a couple games out today, though, my friend. What do we have?
We have Bear and Breakfast on PC. That sounds adorable. I actually am really curious about that one.
Yeah,
we also have Lost Epic is on PlayStation 4, 5, and PC.
That one looks like a JRPG kind of experience. So take that one, dude. But Bear and Breakfast does look cool. I definitely want to check that one out. That one looks unique. It's kind of like one of those cozy games you just sit down for the night and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and away you go and play some games.
I'm wondering if there's a secret,
or Mountain Dew
Naughty Bear level where it turns very hostile.
The game really goes for a turn for the worst.
I love that game.
And that gives you an inside look at Scott's gaming history, everybody. Just a heads up. Be careful what rabbit hole you fall down to. But
it's like Friday the 13th, but stuffed bunnies, stuffed bears.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up here. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG Reviews. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you tomorrow inside the game.